This week's episode is sponsored by Current Jerker Designs. When you're a promoter of any kind, one main obstacle you face is, how do I get more attention for my business? With Current Jerker Designs, you get over 10 years of experience with their creative marketing services. Reach out to Derek Sharp at currentjerkerdesigns.com. Again, that's currentjerkerdesigns.com, or you can email Derek directly to derek at currentjerkerdesigns.com. All right, welcome to Two Heels and a Face. It's a solo pod, but not a solo. We got a guest, a special guest, a longtime friend, and someone that has always been there throughout all my mask purchases at AAW. If the luchador is getting away, he makes sure to pull them back and negotiate a deal. Trent, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for my 72nd appearance on the show. It's very nice to be back. My favorite one is the La Parka one.
Oh, the La Parka, yeah.
It was such a back alley looking deal because I remember you told me you wanted the mask. I went and got him, and then he kind of came out by like the corner of the curtain. It was dark at the corner of the curtain, and then you guys talking in Spanish, and you're like negotiating a deal, and he's just hustling a prize, and you're going back and forth. But it was like you guys were off to a little corner, and the super dark in the room. It was just like I was watching
cash in hand,
bro. It was cash in hand. You were just like handing him cash. He's like, all right, just like sneaking this bag. I was like, what the fuck's happening here? It was awesome. You have that one hanging? Is that the one right above your left
no?
shoulder?
So that one that you see is La Parka, but that's the La Parka that took over La Parka when he came to WCW.
The LA, so that was LA Park then.
Yeah, so the original is LA Park, which is the one that was at the at AAW.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the one that took his place in Mexico.
And he's the one who passed away.
And right? He's the one that passed away. Yeah.
Okay. So the original is still alive, but he's the one, and he's the one you got the mask around.
And now he has the legacy. Like he has his 2 kids with him.
I heard. Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah, he's pulling them all over the place. Not entirely sure if they're like really like they're just kind of like getting, I guess, their feet wet, under him, but because he like overshadows them, I think. Still,
it's such an iconic character, man. Like honestly, it's like one of the most remembered luchadors of like that modern that really classic era of the Attitude Era.
Right.
I hate calling it the Attitude Era. Can I say, can I tell you why?
Okay, please tell me. It's the first time I hear this.
I tell you because Attitude was just WWE's little thing. Like that was their branding. Mm-hmm. But WCW was the one who was owning that whole era. Like 83 weeks, right, of like them being on top, and they're the ones who kind of ushered it in. Was them.
And that's been WWE's thing, right? Like they brand.
But WWE
is just kind of
that's the genius of WWE. They branded it. They call it Attitude Era, and everybody associates it with them now. That's it. It just became their thing. But I'm like, technically, it was WCW's thing, but they never just came up with a name of it. I just call it the late 90s. I love the late 90s because to me, personally, 1997 is like the best year in wrestling for me. And for my adult-ish. I was a teenager, but obviously for like me not being a little kid, but like old enough to understand more of it. 97 in personal life, as well as wrestling, was like my favorite year ever. But just it felt so right. Everything, ECW was on fire. WCW, WWE. I mean, everything was just amazing. It was the best time to be a fan. And that's the year the great Danny Daniels debuted in
ECW.
In wrestling. It's when he started training. It was 1997. With Al Snow. He was trained by Al Snow. I don't know if a lot of people knew that.
Fun facts. The more you know.
So the rainbow comes over with the shooting star, the more you know.
But yeah, man, I mean, AEW, it's we were just obviously talking a little bit before we hit the record button.
Yeah.
But it's the promotion that reeled me into the indies. I've always said that. And last time we spoke, we talked about the new crop of talent that's coming in. There's a lot of new faces, and some new consistent faces, right? For me, so there's people that I've like, okay, they're somewhat new, but I've seen them enough on posters that I'm like, okay, I recognize them. I know they're here. They're part of the roster. what's now COVID restrictions are being lifted, like how has all that played out in the last couple of months for AAW?
You know what? I mean, obviously it was hard, right? We had to,
Yeah.
you almost were like starting over, but at the same time fighting against everybody else who's starting over, but not even at full capacity. It wasn't like you got to start. Actually, it wasn't like you got to unpause from March of 2020. We had to literally start over, but at the same time, everybody else is trying to do something. And then at the same time, people are still hesitant around that time. Nobody was
Hmm.
really sure if they still wanted to come to shows. And it was a weird time, man. But it forced us to not only look at other talent, but also be creative. How do you be different? How do you do something where people you can rehook people? Um, Obviously, certain talent not being there, a lot of people got signed. During that time, we
That
we,
was
we lost a
also
lot of
the thing.
people,
Yeah. Hmm.
so that was tough, man. We lost a lot of people, but it forced us to say, okay, we got to tap new talent, we got to create new stars, and it was almost a good time to do it because it's like a low period, and for lack of a better term, people aren't really expecting much of you during this time. They're not expecting you to have some of the maybe the bigger names that you normally would have. So they're like, okay, cool. I might not have the bigger names, but I'm putting on shows, and people are like, cool. They're doing shows. Let's see who they are going with. And
Hmm.
we started tapping some new areas, man, some new talent, developing them. It was fun. It was a challenge.
And I mean, and out of all of this, like the culmination, at least for us, especially Charlie and I here at Two Heels and a Face, was the crowning of your champion, right? All that
Yeah.
happening throughout the tournament. And shout out to Charlie because somehow he always predicts who the fucking winner is gonna be. So I don't know. I don't know if somebody's like, giving him some hints from the inside, but every year he gets it right.
I don't know, man. It's not me. It's definitely
but
not me giving him the hints. I can tell you that for sure.
but yeah, Fitchett, being the champ, getting the title shot and then becoming the champ, and it just felt so good. Just for the fans that have been watching, for a long time, they've been following the progression of his character, his
Hmm.
evolution, uh, teaming with Davey and now splitting in a way that didn't really give us any indication that they were, in disagreement, but we still always kind of look for that because they were the besties and they, never really saw eye to eye, but they were a
Yeah,
heck of
yeah.
a tag team and that was so fun.
Right, right.
Um, so I mean, I think you guys were able to find kind of like a way to weave us, older fans through and take us through this, pandemic era and into now, what's going to be the quote unquote new normal.
Yeah.
And then,
Things seem kind
bringing
of
in new
normal.
people. Yeah. Hmm.
Things seem kind of normal. But yeah, but bringing in new people, that's a big thing, man. To me, it's twofold though, because you bring in a lot of new people, people don't know them, and then they're not really your draw. The people aren't
Exactly.
like,
Hmm.
I don't know these guys. I'm like, there used to be a time where people just wanted to go see the show and discover that, but now it's like there's so much competition. There's so many people, so many companies you're up against locally within a 20-mile radius that
Hmm.
if you're like, I have these new people who are gonna be stars, and I'm developing them now, but across town, people are bringing in TV guys, and it's like, well, money's limited now. There's inflation going on. People are like, well, if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to go do that. So you have to find ways to really reel them in. So you have to quickly get these people ramped up. You have to make them something attractive. You have to find ways, promos, storylines. Have your champion be somebody engaging that can talk people on the door, have guests come in. So like we had Ron Simmons,
Hmm.
that was a big. It's a hook. It's like cool. People come to see Ron Simmons, and then you'll stay for Ren Jones and Russ Jones and Christy Janes, and they say, "Oh, who are these guys now?" So that's how you do it. It's part of the game, man. It's
and I think
advertising.
the challenging thing for a promotion, for an indie promotion, is that you don't have that weekly television, or for the most part it's a monthly event. um and how do you introduce that character with just one match, right? Like,
Right, right.
one of the things that I've always told you, like, you guys are always pumping out content on the YouTube channel, so
Always, man. Always.
that
That's like
helps kind of carry certain storylines and remind us, like, oh, she said this and this happened, So now she's issuing the challenge, and now we know what's going to happen next month, or that's what we're looking forward to, and things like that.
For us, storylines and promos have always, since day one, prior to me, AAW has always been about that. It's something Danny believed in strongly. It's something Danny grew up on, that Mike believed in strongly, developing people through their words. It's not just matches. To me, everybody's doing matches, and a lot of days nowadays, a lot of people are doing a very similar type matches. It's very hard to be different because there's only so many ways you can go with a match. But the character and what they say and the whole talking you into the building, that's the hook. And to me, putting the time into that is so important. It's so forgotten. And it's something I feel a lot of promotions, I don't want to say don't think about, but it's their whole thing is, they're more match based. For us, it's character. And while maybe at times it takes longer to get over the hump on that because you're trying to sell somebody's personality instead of the ooh ah in the ring. To me, the long-term benefit is the character, because then there's the investment. Then there's like people emotionally connect to these people, and that's the hook. That's the true hook. Because I think back to certain people when they left AAW. Like when bigger stars left. I mean when Ciampa left, right? People were crying, and there's people legit crying in the ring. I mean, in the room with Berwin, right? Because there was an emotional connection. We built him so much to everybody that they were like, damn, it wasn't just Tommaso Ciampa the wrestler, it was Tommaso Ciampa the guy that people got to know and everything. Man, when Mance lost the title to Fred, I shit you not, I saw 3 people tearing up at ringside. And I remember him and Mance going on, I'm sorry, just hitting fist bumping people. And I'm like, because man, how many promos do we do with Mance? I must have produced Mance personally 25 times, But it's like, you emotionally connected to that guy. It was so much so that I even took a picture with Mance backstage. I'm like, I have to take a picture and document this run from my own life because I was so into what we did together.
Yeah.
And that's something like that we're so focused on, is like, man, we want the fans to just be a part of these people, to feel like these are our guys. And that's why we have a unique roster. We have different people. Like, Russ Jones is like this new thing for us. And it's like, Russ is awesome. He's like this monster that people are like, damn, man, where the fuck did this guy come from? But that's why I'm like,
he has a manager, right?
Chuck Smooth. Yeah. Chuck Smooth was an old manager from back in the early 2000s. Chuck E. Smooth, he used to be. He wrestled too.
He dropped the E.
Yeah, he dropped the E. Got the E out. But Chuck Smooth, man, was back in the day. If people watched IWA Mid-South and some Midwest Indies, Chuck was all over those. He got out for a long time, and now he's back. So, we have some legacy knowledge. Those early 2000s indie guys who were doing a lot of that stuff. So he's been around for a while. So it's nice to bring that experience to a guy like Russ Jones, and say, okay, cool. Here's somebody who can help develop that character, help get him over. Same, Ren Jones. We got Ren and Christy Janes are doing their thing together right now. Just to develop each other. Help each other build while we help build them. Ace Perry with Hammerstone. We got a guy like Hammerstone who's killing it elsewhere. But it's like, cool. Ace Perry. He's a guy who never broke out of the Midwest. So now he's on a promo every show. Every single show, Ace Perry's on a promo. I'm like, cool. Let's get people to know who Ace Perry is. He's a tag team champion.
I think that's a great thing for the talent itself, right? Like, because then they start, they're getting better at their craft, they're understanding who they are, and then they know how to get that reaction from the crowd and make that connection.
That's what it is, man. It's like, to me, when you give people that chance, like an Ace Perry, for example, like, hey, you're gonna do a promo. I'm gonna feature you out. There's a confidence that builds within them. And that confidence starts going out to the ring, into on the stage. That confidence goes towards the people in the audience. They're like, man, this guy has something. And they connect. Then they start liking it, and they admire him, and they connect to him. And more he becomes their guy. Look at, it happens all the time. It's classic. Like Paco, for example, who you guys love. He never really did promos much, but he did all of it in the ring. The emotional connection to Paco. He's our guy. He's our loser. He's our underdog, But they just become your guy. But it took a while. Paco wasn't overnight. Now, it took several shows to let people connect over to him. And it's time, it's investment. If you're willing to invest and the talent is willing to invest in you, it's something that we truly pride ourselves on. And I'm proud of it. To me, that's my biggest achievement is being a part of the growth of some of these characters.
Yeah, and it shows. I mean, and again, like for me, like just seeing the progression over years, and obviously, some of these guys go to other promotions and get on TV and such, and that's great. But it's like, all right, now who's our guy? Like looking back, you look back at the roster, it's like, okay, Ciampa's gone.
Yeah,
Who's the guy? Well, Sammy Callahan was already on fire at that point, so it was
yeah,
easy to watch his storyline. I think it was after that was with Pentagon, maybe, or after
yeah.
that.
After Chomp, well, I'm trying to think. It was shit, man. I mean,
I don't know if it
so
was
much was
before
happening.
or after. Yeah, like I mean, but regardless, like
Yeah, yeah.
Sammy during that era was the
Unstoppable.
staple. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was just having this conversation the other day about how Sammy to me is so. He hasn't been here in a while because ever since he went to Impact, he's been so busy. But um, like how unstoppable was he at the time? Like Sammy
Mm-hmm.
was like on a tear. I mean, he identified so much with the product. We got him to a point where he was so a part of the product, and that's how I felt Mance was. Now we got
Mm-hmm.
Fred. A guy like Fred, yeah, only thankfully locally he's our guy. He's not working anywhere else in Chicago. He's our guy. He's identifies as our product, and like he became identifiable with AAW. And he's this amazing talent, man. The guy
And
is
most
so
of the
unique.
promos that I seen from him are coming from AAW.
Bro, he's because we were like we came up with something. We're like he never talked. Fred
Right.
never did any talking. He was like when I first produced him, he was like, yeah, I never do interviews. And I'm like, why not? He's fucking great. I was like, but nobody tapped him. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
really thought. They're like, well, you're a wrestling machine. Just go in there and wrestle. But these guys have things to say, man. You have to try. I mean, not everybody's good. I've had some duds.
Right.
I've had some real duds that I'm like, damn, man, I can need some
But
fucking
I
work
think
with
the
this guy.
importance here is giving him a shot of a 30-second. You guys are doing the reactions. I want to put that over because I thought like
Yeah,
I started watching one and then after another and another and another, and like I found myself like 10 reactions in, and
yeah,
like it goes by super quick, and it's to me it's like it's great content because it also, so if I didn't watch the match between I think it was the women's number one contendership match.
hmm
um Christy says, something about the match, and then I'm like, oh, so that could lead into something with Sky Blue, and sure enough, I see the poster, right?
yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah.
they're going against each other, so
It's what it is, man. So our new series is reaction, and it's something I started doing a while ago, and I started realizing we need to put it out on a broader scale. It was just for Twitter for a while, but it's something that helps me see who it's a good test, all right? It's a good test. It's a good way to see, okay, who can do on spur of the moment promos, who is the
mhm,
most fired up coming out, who has something to say, who maybe is not a good promo, who's a great promo, who needs maybe a more formal promo. Like some guys, they're great if you lead them. Some guys are great if they have a Kevin with them as a host, as like a
mhm.
Mean Gene. Some people are great just doing their own thing. They have their own direction. It's a great way for me to learn everybody's character and learn about who they are. Because then I sit down with the other producers and we decide, okay, who's going to produce who has the strengths. Like, because then you
Mm,
realize, okay, like I'll give you a perfect example. Ace Austin.
mhm.
I work amazingly with Ace. Like me and Ace have a great chemistry where I just know how to tap into his style, and and for some reason, the promos he gives me are just his best work. When he does the formal ones and with the host and the backdrop, it's not as much Ace Austin. It's more derived, right?
Mhm.
So we decided, okay, cool. Ace should do more reaction style. That's what fits him. Trent will handle him because Trent knows how to work with Ace. Um, but take something like Fitchett. Fitchett does great with the host. He does great on a formal because he's got a more stoic style. He's more intense. He likes to be, he likes to play off of like the moment right there. But but so he does perfect there. So we say, okay, cool. Then Keith and Mike can do Fitchett because they understand the character more, what he's going for. They can lead the story of that
Yeah,
promo more.
pairing up the styles, right? Of
Yeah, yeah,
not just the character, but also his working style on the mic. Could be different and pairs up with different producers, and I think that that's one of the things that you benefit from, that you guys
Yeah,
are able to kind of play around with that, and have different producers for different styles, and are able to understand each other, and produce the content. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like content's king, and as you guys are
absolutely.
creating all of that, um, post or pre-show, it all feeds into the fan base that want to stay connected with the product.
Dude, absolutely. And to me, it's also a goal of ours is to show the fan base, I mean, the talent base out there. This is what AAW does. When you
Hmm.
come to work here, it's a full scale package. We're not just saying here's a match. It's you versus you, and then get your pay and get out. You come here, it's long. We try to go for long term. We want to develop you as a character. We care. We truly care. Like I can't even explain how much, like, when I see the talent leave the ring and they come to the back, and how Danny will pull them aside and give them tips and give them feedback on a match. It's out of this amazing care because he was there, right? He did it. He was on the
Hmm.
roads for years and ECW and everything. So, like, he's been promoting for almost 20 years. When he pulls somebody aside and says, "Look, when you get in there and do this and hit him like this and try to hit you, work the crowd." I mean, it's like you're getting coaching. You're getting coaching from a 25-year veteran. You're getting producing coaching. You're getting character development. Like, AEW is a full package. It's it's not just a match and here you go. And it's not to dog anybody else. It's more like this is what our goal is to just, when you come to this company, we're giving you a full stage. And I like to think about that, like how whatever people's views on WWE are or not. It's more so how they've always done that. Their style is always they develop the complete package of a wrestler, top
Right.
to bottom.
I guess you want to find commitment on both ends, right? For it to be you know worth a relationship, right? Because you want the promoter or promotion to be committed to you, and know that you're gonna have work.
Hmm.
So then the promotion's putting stuff behind you, so you can also grow, and become, explore your talent, and grow as a character. So it goes both ways. I think ultimately, like, it's really important, because there's other promotions, like you said, like that they focus on you know bringing in random talents, or
Yeah,
just putting matches together, which is fine. Like, we always say, wrestling's a buffet. There's something there for for everyone, that and for them to enjoy wrestling different ways.
yeah.
But I think AEW understanding this, and kind of taking this um into their plan, and how you guys worked for years, is trying to get some talent that's going to stick with you the long run, because it's going to pay off.
That's the goal, man. It makes me so proud when I see somebody who goes to TV and I'm like, man, I produced their first promo.
Hmm.
Like, it's kind of cool when you're like, you see that, and then they help you. Like, man, even it's a cold business, right? People are, they move on. They don't really remember you sometimes, whatever. But, like, man, certain people will just reach out, like Karam. I get a message from
Hmm.
Karam, and he'll just, like, thank me in like 3 in the morning sometimes. Like, man, I was looking at my old stuff, and I just want to thank you for all you do for us. You guys really, you care so much about us. This is our home. You've done so much for me as a wrestler. And I'm like, you don't have to say that, but it's a lot. It means a lot because I know he's going to be a big star. I already know he's getting looked at everywhere. He's going to be a big star, and the fact that he has the consciousness to appreciate that, and other people
Yeah.
do too. That's awesome. That's what we strive for. It's like we're not just here to book you and pay you and get out. We are here to you want to be part of the family, the AAW family. This is We want to bring you in. We want to make you as part of our canon. This is like something we take a lot of pride in, is our material, our history, our shows, our production. It's something the whole team truly is, like, very focused on emphasizing to the fans and to the wrestlers.
All right, Trent. So let's shift gears a little bit, and let's get caught up. Like, we talked about a few champions. Can we go through your champions, and just like a little bit about your? I guess I'll ask you some memorable matches
Yeah,
that
yeah,
have
for
happened
sure.
over the last months. I mean, I guess pre or post Win the City Classic, so that can lead us into the upcoming show, which we'll talk about a few matches. Epic happening on Saturday, March 19th.
Mhm.
at the Logan Square Auditorium.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, champions, we got Fitchett is
Yep.
our world heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our tech champs are, help me
Ace,
out, Ace
Ace
Perry.
Perry and Hammerstone. They're still the champions. We got Heritage is Ace Austin, and women's is Sky Blue,
And Sky
who is
Blue.
just tearing it up right now. Yeah. Hey, perfect example. Sky Blue, somebody who we discovered in the middle of the pandemic. I mean, when we did the
Uh-huh.
the comeback shows, we found her on YouTube. She was wrestling in Woodstock, Illinois. Like in a little indie, and Danny found her on YouTube, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come to our shows?" And I remember I produced her promo. She goes, "It's the second promo I've only ever done in my whole life." And a year later, she's on TV. You know what I mean? So we pushed her to the moon, obviously, and she's still part of the company, but it's just you never know who's gonna break. That's we were forced to find people. We found her on YouTube for God's sake, and invited her to the show. So it happens, man. Those things are interesting. But yeah, she's the women's champion right now too.
Cool. And so let's talk about a few matches that kind of
Yeah.
jog your memory a little bit, and just matches that kind of have stood out to you recently. Maybe we can also talk about, because you guys are again, we're going back to YouTube again,
Yes.
and you guys are putting in full matches out there.
A lot of full matches going on. We're tapping the history, going through the old catalog and giving away some stuff for free, just to kind of let people know, hey, we have the on demand and everything, but hey, there's a couple samples, full matches.
So here's an idea, and I'll put it out there, and then you decide if you want to do it or not.
Yeah,
um, but since you're putting these full matches, and again, like, you're tapping into the library, right? So these are
Mhm.
like, oh, I remember being at that show, at least for me, and I'm like, oh, I remember this match. Like, have you guys thought about doing, like, premiere style, and kind of join the, like, we're gonna premiere this match on this date, this hour, for the fans to tune in, and then whoever produced the match, or
Ooh,
somebody from the staff just kind of join the chat. Doesn't have
that's
to be super complicated, but just there'll be an extra layer to all of us kind of rewatching that show, or not that show, but that match.
you know what? How about I love the idea. How about even for a full event? Because we do a couple of full event giveaways too on YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
we've given away some more recent ones. But end of the week, we're giving away Epic 2011, which is a little
Oh,
older,
uh-huh.
but it's famous for having Billy Corgan on the show. It was a complete crazy show. Like Blue World Orders on it, Shane Douglas, like
What was the
uh
main event? Do you
main
remember?
event. Oh, let me try to. I was there as a fan. I just saw a picture of myself. We were watching it, and you could see me in the crowd, like I'm in the
Okay.
back just marking out, But I'll tell you the card here. Let me tell you the card actually, because it's a
Okay.
very very
I'm
interesting card.
guessing this is at Berwyn.
This is at Bourbon Street.
Oh,
This
Bourbon.
was the debut at Bourbon Street, I believe. Yeah. Um, the main event was Sabu and Mason Beck, and then that was the main event. So Sabu was in the main. Silas Young versus Stevie Richards. Michael Elgin versus Alex Shelley.
Mm,
The Clash versus Chris Hall, Lewis Linden, and Myron Fontaine. So, some early guys. Dan Lawrence versus Jesse Emerson. Zero Gravity. Irish Airborne. Eric Cannon. Jimmy Jacobs. Shane Hollister. Christian Faith was Ricky Shane Page.
yep.
DJ Z's on this one. Darren Corbin. Awesome Threesome. Blue World Order. That's a whole trio. Like, everybody's on this, man. It's a crazy show.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast from the past.
It's crazy, man. It's like this one is bananas. And then fucking in the middle of it, Billy Corrigan shows up. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. It was a wild show, man. Um, it's said to be like the funny thing about the show is that some people in the company hate it, some people love it. Some people because it was just so all over the place. But I was like, look, it's epic season. Let's just give this one away because it's so wild. Maybe for that one, I'm down. I'm down to be in the chat because I was there as a fan, and now
Oh, that would
behind
be
the
cool. Yeah,
scenes,
there you
that'd be
go.
cool. That'd be cool. I love that idea. That's a great idea, actually.
Well, hopefully we see that into fruition. But yeah, like, it'll be fun. Just as the show's launched out there and everybody's watching it live, then it could be after its first live, it can just sit there on your YouTube channel. But
Dude,
you
yeah.
know,
I mean, we have a
just a
couple.
thought.
Yeah. No, we keep all the anything we release in full shows, we keep them up there, and because hey, just take it, just share them out.
Hmm.
Um, Same with the matches. We have 18 years of catalog. So the idea is, give away matches periodically. It's not giving away we're not giving every show away. Obviously, we have an AAWOndemand.com and high spots. So we got to be selective, but you still want to be able to hook people in and say, hey, if you weren't aware of who we've had, because the biggest thing to me I love seeing is people see a match we put out and they're like, wait a minute, Sammy Guevara was at AAW? What, holy shit, I didn't know Brody King wrestled for AAW. People are like discovering the product because of that. That is the most fun thing for me, because they're like, damn, you guys really had everybody, So, and we have. Everybody has come through the door,
Pretty much, yeah.
Everybody, man. If you're
Cody Rhodes himself was at the
Cody
Eagles Club.
Gave you a free T-shirt.
He did give me a free T-shirt. I help him sell his merch.
That's right. I was telling the story to somebody because somebody was dogging him the other day to me. They're like, he's a jerk. I was like, no. I'm like, you know what? He's not really, because let me tell you the story. He was very nice because he was leaving, right? And people wanted to buy his merch.
Yep.
And then they stopped him, and he stopped to take it out of his bag. And he asked, you were standing next to him. He asked you, hey, has he pulled it out to hold it, right?
Not even. It was just so organic. Like I me, I was probably on my way to the bar.
Yeah.
And like I saw that happening, so I'm like, he didn't have anywhere to put his bag with stuff. So I'm like, oh, here, let me help you out. And then before you know it, people are like, oh, I want a large. So then I'm looking for a large,
yeah.
And then he sold whatever he was gonna sell. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm here. Let me buy a T-shirt. And he's like, oh, no, just keep it.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah.
I thought that was nice. He didn't have to do that.
He didn't have to do that, right?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Yeah, Cody Rhodes himself, man. one of the controversial guys.
You never know where he's gonna show up.
You never
it could
know,
be
man.
epic. Just saying.
Could be epic. You never know, man. Honestly, you never know. Conversations have been happening, but the Young Bucks have been here. I mean, you name it. They've all been through the doors. The one the two that always shocked me that never came through the doors, to this day, it blows my mind, was Christopher Daniels. Never wrestled AAW, and he was in Chicago. Like, he was living here basically at one time.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles never did. He was close, apparently. From what I understand, it was close to happening once. Something didn't work out. But AJ, those are like the two that I'm like, damn, I'm shocked that we never pulled it off. But hey, listen, even that, man, you never know. People are taking dates all over the place. I mean, Mickey James is showing up at the Royal Rumble with the Impact title. People are going to Impact, AEW. I mean, they're showing up everywhere, man. NWA, Matt Cardona's, I don't know what's going on in wrestling anymore right now. Who knows, man?
It's a fun time, you can't predict it all.
You can, and that's, to me, it's fun. That keeps it fun. But you definitely want to retain your identity. That's a big thing I want to emphasize. Like, just retain your identity in it, because I think it's one thing that some promotions are great at, is knowing who they are, retaining their identity, and making sure they cater to that fan base who's looking for that identity.
And that's important with, there's a lot of indie promotions out there.
Yeah.
And having your identity, having, who you are and who your audience is. I think that's also key for your success.
A big thing people ask is, like, doesn't it piss you guys off about freelance running in the same building with you guys? And freelance, for a while, it was just us and freelance, right? For a while, it was just the two companies. Well, we always used to say, and no question about it, we're competitors, no question. That's it. But there's a respect, because if you think about it, there's two completely different identities from AAW to freelance. And I was like, you know what? Are we competing for the same dollar? Absolutely. But we're definitely not competing for similar interests in a lot of ways. We are catering to two completely different styles. And I felt like we both had such unique identities in Chicago for a long time.
Freelance could run on Friday. You can go to the show, have a great time. And, AAW can run on Saturday. Go there, have a completely different experience, and 100%. Walk away extremely happy as well.
Which is happening next week, actually.
Unfortunately, the beer prices will be the same.
But that to me said a lot about the city and the fans, which is, I loved the fan base here because of that, because they knew going in. It's an intelligent group. They knew that, hey, I'm going here for this experience. I'm going to go get this fix, and I'm going to go here for this fix, and both companies catered to it really, really well. I thought we had a good mutual understanding, and that worked
even
out.
The feeling of the room, just
Yeah.
visually. It's lit up different. It's
Yes.
set up in a way where it just, again, like, very different at the same venue.
That's it, bro. That to me is what made it is healthy competition. That's to me is healthy competition. That drives you to further carve your identity out. Um, I mean, shit, and I think guys like Nick's got it. I mean, Nick's worked for AAW for a long time. GPA worked,
Mhm.
not just GPA. I guess
What's the
GPA did.
GPA?
No, not GPA. God, who else? Oh my God, I'm trying to remember who else from
Well, I
freelance as
mean,
well.
you mentioned Corbin.
Corbin, yeah, Corbin for a year, tag team champion at AAW. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So like, these guys definitely did. For a long time. I mean, these guys were around. I'm sorry, Isaiah. I mean, Isaiah. He was at
Velasquez.
AAW.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was there for forever, years ago. A long time ago. So there's history that there's intertwinement with the companies, but there's a respect of that. Of course, other companies have come up, and and this is not. I'm not trying to take a shot at anybody. But what I'm saying is, I don't think anybody since us in freelance has carved an identity as strong of who they are. Um,
I will throw my flag in there and say Gali.
Golly, I'm not gonna take away from Golly. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I tend to forget sometimes about
I mean,
because
they,
they're
they
way
don't run off of the same building.
yeah,
They
yeah,
have their own crowd out there
absolutely,
at the Gali Arena. But
100%. I didn't mean to leave the Golly off because they cater to that lucha audience, no question
absolutely,
about it,
yeah.
no question. I had a blast. We went to a Golly show to scope the building
You guys
before
shared the building for a little bit during pandemic.
we worked with Carlos for a while. He was very courteous to work with. It was great to work with Carlos on that building and he was, his team was there. We had a blast. I mean,
Not
we
the
made
easiest
do.
building to work at, I'm sure.
Not at all. It was very difficult to work in that building, but we made our. I was so proud of how we spruced it up. Even Carlos was like, "Damn, you guys really added a lot to this room because we brought
Uh-huh.
lights and we brought the flags and the artwork." And he was like, "Shit, this is pretty good." So, but no, it's cool. I appreciate the teamwork. But yes, Gali
Mhm.
absolutely. And I enjoyed it. We went to scope the building before we did the show, and I had such a blast at a Gali show that I was like, "This is fun as fuck." So definitely that.
Yeah. Again, a different,
Different
different
crowd.
experience. Hmm.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, man, let's talk Epic. I didn't mean to stray too much.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
could talk
yeah.
Epic.
Let's go Epic again. Reminder that Saturday, March 19th at the Logan
Yes.
Square Auditorium. If you can't make it, it's gonna be live on Fight.
Fight TV. Fight
Um,
TV.
Bell time is at 8.
It's gonna be we have the Alive tapings. So I would tell everybody get there 6:30, no later than 6:30. Get there
Okay.
6:30 so you can see the live tape. This Alive is cool, man. That's our taped basically it's a pre-show, but we tape it for YouTube release, full show. And Alive's it's awesome, man. It's a great way to see who's new, who's coming out,
Are
and
you still using that as testing grounds and new talent?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a great. I mean, you're seeing kids from Black and Brave. I mean, who are coming up, who are just starting out,
Mm.
who are getting a shot on Alive. You're seeing some people right before they hit the main show. For a long time, Ren Jones was just an Alive guy, and now he's on the main show. Russ Jones on the main show. Like it's a great way to see who's going to start leveling up and up and up. I love the Alive stuff. It's to me, it's like the rawest of the raw,
Hmm.
and I get to mold that. I get to mold that down. I'm like, damn, it's like, let me at him with the promos. Let me just get at him. Because there's people who are petrified to do promos, man. They don't like the Alive kids. Sometimes are like, wait, a camera? What the fuck? Nobody taught me this. Like, who am I? What am I supposed to say? So I love that though,
Yeah, it's a great way to just roll with the punches and
bro.
get your stripes in.
It's great, man. So yeah, I encourage everybody. A lot of people don't make it for a live. I mean, obviously the main shows will fills up, but please, if you can, come to a live and see who's the next stars out there.
There you go. Alive 6:30.
Yeah,
Get there. So doors open if it's at 6:30. You're saying doors open at 6?
at 6. Yeah, we'll open up
Okay.
at 6. Definitely come meet everybody. We're gonna have a lot more people at the merch tables this time. So come meet everybody. They'll be around the ring and get your autographs, merch, and everything. And then we'll start live at 6:30. See that.
Any
There's a little
you
break.
mentioned merch.
Yeah.
Any new AAW merch?
Not we're designing some right now, but nothing. There's the cards. That's the hottest seller right now is the trading cards.
Okay.
Um,
Charlie picked up a deck of cards for me at the tournament
Oh, he did. Yeah,
at the
they're hot sellers,
JLMP.
man. They're hot sellers, man.
Mhm.
Um, Nothing yet. Nothing new that'll be at Epic, but I'm gonna try to see. I think we're trying to get something for the next show. We got some good surprise for April coming up. So stay tuned for that.
Anything with the Alive logo? I mean, that logo
There's
is pretty nice.
I love the logo. Yeah, there's a
Mhm.
T-shirt. It's on PWTs. You can
Okay,
get it from there. I do want to print that one though. I want to brand Alive more. I love the logo too. I'm a big fan of it.
I'm always down for a flex hat. So
Of the Alive logo, that would be
yeah,
kind of cool, man. Yeah, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. All right, I'll throw it out there. I'll throw out the
yeah.
team know.
Something has to stick, right?
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
All right, so Epic. We talked about the women's champion being Sky Blue. Uh,
Yes.
Based on that promo, kind of gave us a leading into Christy James. So they're going to go against each other. Can you
Mhm.
give me a little bit of story with that?
So friends turn enemies. They were tag teaming at one time a little while ago. They were building up this tag team, and Christy's been hanging out with Ren Jones, who always has a flight to catch. He's a swag champ constantly. This guy he's got more flights than like I don't know, man. This guy's got more sky miles than anybody out there right now. But always on a flight. But she started hanging out with Ren Jones. Got it in her head that she's better than Sky. Doesn't need to be teaming with Sky. So she's on her own, and she turned on her, man. Sky won the title. She literally the minute Sky won the title, she came out to celebrate and fucking clocked her, man. It was wicked though. I gotta say, I watched it. And I was like, God damn! I thought she killed her. Like, dude, she fucking nailed it, man. It was interesting, yeah. But Christy on her path now. This is somebody who I think you've seen her too. We've seen her grow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's been around for a while. A little. I mean, at least a year.
yeah, more than a year. She's been
Hmm.
she's been at it, and she's been making her rounds like she on her own. Out west a lot, Mexico. Uh, she's Brazilian, and she definitely incorporates that into her, like her style and her flair. But she's bilingual. She speaks fluent Spanish, also. She tried her hand in Mexico, trying to train with lucha style. Like she's very diverse, and she's somebody who I am just like she intrigues me. She's gorgeous. Like she's got a great presence to her. She's very
Right.
charming, and but now she's got a mean streak. So we'll see what happens. But no, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm very excited for that one because we've built that one for so long. That one got built over the course of several months, and
Hmm.
it's something that Christy is homegrown. In a lot of ways, Sky, she very early. I mean, she was so early in her career when we got her. When she first did the first Alive show, October of 20, like the first comeback we did. She was on him against Elena Black.
Oh, okay.
So it was I mean, super early, man. I mean, she was, and then she's
Coda
skyrocketed
Jade
from
in
there.
WWE now.
Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
So seeing her growth, it's two people who I really associated with the product a lot. So I'm psyched for this one a lot.
Okay, I see we have Gringo Loco in the card.
Gringo's on, man. He's on. I guess if you're coming to the auditorium, it's the local square
It's
auditorium,
the
right?
local square auditorium.
You
Uh,
have to.
it's been a while. I haven't seen Gringo at the local square auditorium. So it's Gringo versus Myron Reed versus Garvin versus Braden Lee.
Yes.
This is number one contenders match for the AAW Heritage Championship.
Yes. Yeah. This is interesting, right? Because Myron's former champion. Gringo's been there for a long time. Never held the title.
Right.
Gnarls is still very new. I only have a couple of matches for us, and Braden's been there for a bit. Personally, I've been very impressed with Braden Lee's growth because when he first came out, I was like, I'm like, what is this kid looking to do? Very nervous on the mic. Really didn't have much presence, but just seeing him grow and grow over the last 2 years has been very interesting, man. So he can hang. Like that's the thing about Braden. You look at him,
I mean, he has to if he's going against Reed and Gringo.
right. Like you have to, right? But he's the guy who I was like, man, he talk about somebody who just needed like get your reps in. He
Mhm.
got his reps in. You could see the evolution of Braden Lee. Um, Obviously Myron is a made man. He's held, he's held titles in AAW before. Gringo obviously is the made guy. Gnarls is probably the newest. He's probably got the most disadvantage because people don't really know him too much. He's really not. He's really not the familiar face. Maybe it's an advantage, I guess, in that sense. Maybe it's an advantage.
Oh, it's a good point.
But yeah, he's getting there. He's definitely somebody making their round. I think he does a lot of MLW, so he's got a fan base. Hopefully we can show them again. I've never seen him in a 4-way, so I'm curious how he would do against these guys. But that's gonna be a fun match.
It's gonna be fun, and I mean, I just gotta say, like, Gringo has been on fire. No
yeah.
pun intended towards Myron Reed over there, but
yeah,
he's been like Gringo's been tearing it up, and he's having the Lucha show with GCW, which is something that I'm looking forward to.
Where's that taking place? In Texas?
In Texas, yeah.
Texas, okay. I gotta give Charlie's one of those guys, man. But he's a. I mean, he even says, he goes, I shouldn't even be here. I should be dead. Like he died, right? Like that's his
right,
thing.
yeah.
Like Charlie literally died and came back to life. So like
he's loco.
He's loco, man. But he's a very talented guy. Like he's extremely talented. And when he's on a show, especially against a bunch of young guys, like he's the veteran, you could see it. You see the veteran. I mean, honestly, I tell people, watch a match of his closely. And this is a great one to watch because he's probably the most veteran out of all these guys. So watch this match, this 4-way, and see how that dude knows ring presence, timing. He's a very talented guy.
So he's a true vet. But I remember at AAW show, I show up. We always talk for a little bit, before the show or whatnot. He was extremely excited that he was going to be tagging with Penta.
Oh yeah.
He's like, bro, like, it's obviously, you work with people and you know who they are and you've interacted or whatnot, but it's like once it comes down to like your craft and being paired up with somebody who was, at that moment, I mean, he still is, but Pentagon at AEW, like for him, he was super excited about that opportunity. So like just knowing that made me buy Penta's mask just to kind of like this is the mask where he tagged with Gringo.
That's cool. That's cool. Bro, that was a great moment. That was a great moment. It was such a and I'm lucky. I'm so glad we have that moment at AEW. It's ours, and I'm glad we were able to give that to Charlie because I know I'm only calling him Charlie because he admits his name is Charlie, not Gringo, on his social media. He puts out his name, so I'm not blowing kayfabe on this. But great guy, man. Very talented. I'm serious. This is a sleeper like show stealer. People need to watch this one because it's gonna be off the fucking wall. Like I just know it looking at the names.
This is the type of match that sends us into intermission.
Yeah. You need a breather, a cigarette, and shit afterwards. You need to take a break.
We have a tag match. ACH and Josie versus Hakeem Sane and Karam.
You know me, man. First off, these are my guys.
Muscle.
Hustle, the Hustle and Muscle are my guys. On a personal note, these are my guys right here. So like,
ever since the first time at AAW, I'm like, Trent is 100% behind these guys.
It's not just because the brown man connection. This is it goes beyond that. But I love them because I feel very connected to their careers, just personally producing them so much. I was being a big part of that. But this match was supposed to take place previously, but last show at Legacy, but Karam and Hakeem were pulled to go do AEW Dark.
Oh, okay.
Right. So we had Camaro Jackson and Mike Outlaw take their spot against ACH and Josie, which was great. They I think for new guys, they're pretty young, man, and they held up against. I mean, ACH is the veteran, Josh still pretty young, but good stuff. So this is kind of a coming back around match, and I'm curious because we never got to have this one. And I mean, you got ACH in there. I mean, this is a former AEW champion. He's one of the most identifiable names of the company. He's related to the company. So
for sure.
Somebody told me Gino, one of our biggest fans, one of the biggest guy wrestling fans out there, but he goes, He goes, bro, let me ask you a question. I go, what's up? And he's like, how are they not calling themselves Josie CH as a tag team?
Oh,
Damn, you're so right. I was like, shit, you're right. How's that not happening? So I got to bring that up.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious, but not so obvious. I had not put that together.
Like, how do you feel about Josie CH? And I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face. We'll see. Maybe. But they're good. Hey, listen, exciting team. I see Josie like a young ACH. Not to say ACH is old, but it's like the 22-year-old ACH. Mm-hmm. This Jazz, that's I see so much of that crazy charisma. Oh my god, he's like that dude. People, that's not a. I'll tell people right now, Josie is not an act. That is not an act. That dude walks in owning a room. It's amazing how that guy just controls a room. Very charismatic guy, just full of just style, swagger. Love it.
It's that he's somebody even if you don't know who he is.
Bro, he just has a walk, man, and I'm so again another guy I'm super proud that we got early. He's a Black and Brave guy too. We're so connected with Black and Brave. That's run by Seth Rollins and Merrick Brave. It's their school, and they were trained by Danny, and they started their careers in the AAW. So that's family to us. SCW and Black and Brave are family for us. I mean, they call Danny Grandpa. That's like all the kids. That's grandpa, because that's what they tell me. Hey, we're your wrestling dads. That's your wrestling grandfather. He goes and checks you out at AAW. So we get a lot of first crack at this. We get to see these guys young. Ja's another one. He came from the school. So happy to see that too. His growth has been awesome too.
And we talk about both teams, but also seeing Hakeem and Karam, like,
oh my god,
like they feel like AAW vets at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been around for a while, but they've been so dominant, and again, they had time on the mic. Mm-hmm. The whole lead of Hakeem, his debut was all promos.
Dude, the whole reveal was all promos, man. Yeah, the big mask thing and everything we did with that was super cool. We got a little derailed because COVID really did throw it off for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was just starting his run.
Yeah, we got thrown out the car, and then Karam got injured. Karam tore his I think his ACL, and he came back and he shaved off like 30% of the healing time. And he came back strong. So we got little schedule breaks, from the momentum, but they're back on track.
But
they're
that also says a lot. Like, it feels like they never left either.
Yeah, this match will be one that really kind of sets it back strong because they're back. It's against ACH and Ja. It's going to be real good.
Shane Hollister versus Stephen Wolf.
Dude, this Shane Hollister, former Triple Crown champion at AAW, man. This like him.
He has his own banner.
He's got a banner. He legit has a banner. He came back at the Lynam last October, and we brought back Merrick, and Merrick got a banner. Crotch came to visit, and Shane Hollister, and he announced he's coming back home. He's like, I'm coming back. So it was awesome to see him back. I mean, he got a great welcome back pop. People who might not know, he was AAW champion. He lost his title to Kevin Steen / Owens. He beat him back for it several years ago. So Shane is trained by Danny also. He was he made his career in the company, and it's awesome to have him back, man. He looks amazing on top of his game. He's awesome. And then Stephen Wolf is, looks like $1 million. Another up and comer,
Up and comer? I mean, he's been around a while.
He has, but he
also had his stops, and
he had a stop. He's still very young though, like Steven, I still say like he's still very new because he's still
when I think about Stephen Wolf, at least I remember it being introduced to him in LaSalle.
That's where we got him.
Yeah.
That's where we got him. He was a Dreamwave guy, and then when we absorbed Dreamwave, he was part of that acquisition. And I feel like he was still finding himself a lot. I mean, the Stephen Wolf from that time to today is a whole different guy. And then he was out for a year too, for injury. So that's still very young, man. Still he has his whole lifetime ahead of him, like to build this. Like that guy, he looks amazing, man. I mean, I always say this too. Stephen Wolf, best dressed guy in the whole company. He comes in with like a
Well,
three-piece suit on
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
leaves with three-piece suit on. I was like, man, how do you not look like not even a hair out of place? It looks like $1,000,000. But he's very talented. Again, he still has so much to do, and he's gonna do it.
Okay, okay. And what I have here is the only other match left that's been announced, and correct me if I'm wrong, which I am wrong 50% of the time. The main event, the
Yeah.
heavyweight championship championship match. Matt Fitchett being the champ, going against Shaft.
Yes. There's one more match too, and we can talk. We can do this one and go back to that.
Okay.
But yeah, Shaft is incredible, man. I'd say this: if you haven't seen Shaft live, you need to experience the Shaft
The Shaft
experience.
experience.
Yeah, that dude is he's something else. I've never because remember he was primarily northwest. You know, he was in the Pacific Northwest. That's where he was primarily wrestling,
Okay.
and we got him here, and that guy is like I've never seen anything like it, man. He's so like intense, and I mean shit, man. Him and Freddie, he hung with Freddie Ahai, who's a fucking machine, and he broke a brick over Fred's face. It's just this stuff is nuts, man. But he's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's
He's
a
crazy.
bulldozer for sure.
A great word to put it. He's a bulldozer. He's a big guy, just does not stop. I mean, this guy has been cutting himself, like getting split open hard way, like left and right. He is a complete bulldozer. But man, he's been harassing Fitchett for a little bit. Like he's been in the periphery. So I I'm psyched because I think you have a guy like Fitchett who just you have to kill him to stop him against a
Yeah,
bulldog.
he has that. I got the championship now, and you're
Dude,
gonna have to go above and beyond to get it away from me. So
dude, Fitchett, like, you guys had him on your show. You literally, I mean, that's his life, man. Like he literally comes from a very hard background. So to him, life has to kill him to stop him. Doesn't matter if it's wrestling or his job or getting a fucking gallon of milk at Walgreens. Like, dude, this guy will not like he goes down. It takes a lot to put this guy down. You know, like he has been through a lot of shit in life. So Shaft is tough, man. He's a tough. It's going to be just a tough fucking match to watch. Like it's just going to be a brutal match to watch. Yeah,
and what is the match that I missed?
dude. So we have a return out of retirement coming to AAW. This is a unique one, man. It is Ace Steel, a
Oh,
legend, Chicago legend. Ace Steel is coming out of retirement. He was coaching at NXT.
mm-hmm.
He left NXT. He's coming home to Chicago, and he's facing Davey Vega. For those who don't know what Ace Steel is, Ace Steel ran the Steel Domain training school. He trained CM Punk,
Mm-hmm.
Colt Cabana, Jay Bradley, several others. I'm trying to remember who else. Lita, I think, trained there too for a little bit. But he's one of the best trainers in modern era, and had a good run himself. You know, he did TV for a little bit. He was on TNA, little TNA. He did WWE. He played Donald Trump on WWE during some skit that was Ace Steel, and then he was training at NXT for several years. So he was down there, and he's out now, but he's coming home. So he's coming out of retirement. He looks great, you know, and got to teach a lesson to David Vega. So, but no, Ace is. I was a huge in 2003, 4. I was a huge Ace Steel mark. This guy was cool as shit in Chicago. One of the big attractions in Chicago at the time. So a lot of people might not know him, but if
I know the name, but I don't know.
he's a great
Never
great
seen him
worker.
work.
See him work if you can, man. He is a great worker. This is one that like you'll be surprised. You'll be like, oh, he's an older guy. What's he gonna? This guy's one of the best trainers of all time. I mean, he trained CM Punk, right? So that's
Right.
if you're a Punk fan, this is the guy who did it. So go just take it from there. So yeah,
All right. So, I mean, are you guys still going to announce more matches coming up?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's more
Okay.
coming. So the show's in a week and a half. We still got some more to announce. I wish I wanted to have at least one more announced tonight, but we're finalizing some details. But we'll be put out pretty soon, and
Okay.
then
So
and we'll
soon, right? I mean, A Steel's coming back. That means that Danny Daniels is almost.
Almost,
back
man.
out
I'm
of
working on
retirement.
it, bro. I'm working on it. Every time I see him, I'm like, hey, man, he lost 35 pounds recently. He's lays
Oh,
down. He's
okay.
looking kind of like I'm like, put the singlet on.
What is it?
That's,
The
oh yeah, just still got it, baby. Slap the shoulders, slap the chest. Uh, I'm like, bro, you're a wrestling weight again. You get the singlet out. It's dry cleaned already. It's already clean. It's hanging. I was like, come on, bust it out. I'm like, kid, I'll give you a shot on a live. Let's see what you got. If I'll try you out and see how you do against one of these other rookies, and we'll take it from there. But I'm telling you, man, it breaks my heart that his last match was not in AAW. His last match was in Iowa for a small promotion. It was not for AAW, and I feel like it never got to close his chapter properly. So I'm like, let's have
it's a matter
Shaft
of
attack
time
you.
now. Yeah.
Let's have Shaft just take you out, and you get fired up, and you attack him. He goes, shut the fuck up, and he like walks away from me. So I would love to, though. I would love to see it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe though. He still came back.
Right,
Why
right,
not?
right.
Why not? But yeah, man. It's so yeah, more to be announced. I stay tuned. AAW Pro, all the socials, everything's gonna be put out there. But these are some of the feature ones, and some good stuff, man. This is this is the anniversary show. It's 18 years. The company turns 18 years old. We're almost 20 years old. We're old enough to vote as far as this show goes.
Epic is your
It's the
birthday.
birthday. It's the
Yeah.
birthday. Yeah, Epic's the birthday. Hey, you know what's funny? I think there was we were trying to do something on Twitter that had, I forgot what it was. And it required age verification. Something we were like doing on Twitter,
Uh-huh.
and you had to be 18. But the company's birthday is like not what didn't come up yet officially. So like the company's that we use the company's birthday for like the
Mhm.
birthday of the Twitter. And like
You
it
weren't old
didn't
enough to.
well, we're old enough. It wasn't it's like, oh, you're not, not allowed to make this change or sign up for this whatever service or part of Twitter. And I'm like, why? I'm like, we got 5,000 followers. We've been here forever. I'm like, we're verified. What the fuck? And I'm like, what is it? I'm like, oh, we're not 18 yet. So we couldn't opt in for like this one thing. I'm like, that's why we're not old enough to be on it yet. So, but we're gonna turn 18
Now you are.
very soon. Yeah, we're turning 18 and officially it's there. But yeah, dude, around Epic time to me is special because the company has so much history. I mean, we're the oldest indie right now in Chicago, so we're kind of, when Windy City Pro Wrestling went away, we became the oldest one.
Mhm.
So it's nice to be still be here. I always trip out when Tony Scarpone, who was the original founder of the company, he shows up to shows sometimes.
Oh,
And
okay.
I recently found he was former AAW champion. He was like the second champion. And I
Of
found
course.
found his photo, holding the title. Recently we just found the photo, and I sent it to him. He's like, man, I know it even existed, so we got his title out
Mhm.
there. And then Robert Ego Anthony, who was the first champion for
Right.
AAW. He just recently did a video about year one on his own personal YouTube channel, telling the history of year one AAW. And it was a
Oh, that's
trip,
cool.
man. Yeah, it's on Ego's channel. We shared it also, but give it a look if you can find it. It's on I think it's Ego Fitness. I think it's his YouTube channel. But he talks about, year one starting AAW and with Tony Scarpone becoming champion. It was cool, man. I mean, like, so much history. 20 years is 18 years is a long time. So
Mhm.
everybody's walked through the doors. I mean, everybody has come through, so it's cool to see how it's honored and people cherish that history that we've given them. And I want to just keep putting that back out. That's why I'm big on putting the shows and the matches out. I'm like, see the history, see what we've done, see who's been here.
Yeah.
Take that all in. It's cool.
I mean, 18 years, right? 18 years.
18. When I met you guys, it was what year? When you guys first came to
Oh,
a show?
maybe late 2014,
Yeah, God, it's been that long.
maybe. Yeah.
But I met you 2016. I met you guys, I think, because I found the show. When did you start the show?
Uh, I mean, we've been doing this for 4 years.
So it must have been 2017 then when I found you guys.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'm not really good with dates either, but
Yeah,
no, I know it wasn't not I mean, LaSalle, I think, was one of the first shows that we
we met, right? What's
met.
LaSalle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like with the first LaSalle show or something like that.
yeah. So yeah, definitely 2017 then. So yeah, that's when I
Hmm.
met you guys. And think about that's been 5 years already.
Yeah.
You know how much time has flown since then. I mean, how many talents have come through since then that we've seen together come through the company and who are on TV right now tonight? Who are on TV right now? You know, as we
I mean,
tape this,
MJF had a run with
Heritage
AC
Champion.
Baby.
Yeah,
Like I
dude,
remember
MJF had
that
a
being so fun. Hmm.
that was a great feud. You know,
Hmm.
what did he call him? He had a Tits McGee or what the hell he used to call him all the time. But like AC, I mean, shit, man. MJF has been through Penta and Phoenix, you know, Darby Allen, Brody King, DJZ. Like, I'm trying to think, like, who all then everybody, you know, like shit. Keith Lee,
Keith
Shane
Lee.
Strickland, you know,
Hmm.
um, God damn, like, it just the list goes on, man. The list goes on, you know, and there's people who are on Impact on Thursdays who are, I mean, that roster is still coming through sometimes. Like, so many people have gone on and done things that you know their roots are in the company. There's so much history in AAW for them.
One of the talents that also I associated with AAW, who
Mhm.
recently I just recently saw him posting on social media. He's going back to Canada. Josh Alexander.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Josh is he's not on this next show because he had some as it was very open. I'm not even revealing anything people don't know, but there were some visa issues
Hmm.
that he
Hmm.
had just got straightened out on Saturday, apparently.
Oh,
Or
cool. Good for him.
yeah, he showed up to the Impact show in Louisville. I guess he got straight must have gotten straightened out last week
Hmm.
or whatever. So he was able to come fly in and be at that show. But yeah, it was up in the air. Like his visa got
Right.
revoked, didn't get
That's why I
renewed.
brought
So
it up because I'm like, I know he had issues in the past, and that kind of kept him away for a bit.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And before, yeah, he was gone
mhm.
for like a 3 year stretch.
Yeah.
So it was tough while he was gone. But dude, I mean, he's a fixture in the company. He's one of the best in the he's in the world right now. I think he's like the best in the world right now. There's nobody at the caliber of Josh Alexander. So he's incredible, and he's our guy. You know, I
Hmm.
love him. I think he's an amazing talent. He's a great locker room leader. He's definitely like an inspiration to a lot of guys backstage, and he's the kind of guy you want on your team. You know, you have him on the team, and it's like young kids come up into the company and they look at him, they're like, "Damn, like, can I ever be that good? I'm gonna try like hell," you know. So, and he's always very courteous, talks to anybody, gives advice. I love having guys like that in the locker room. And recently, another one. You know, Mike Bennett debuted for us
Yeah.
last show and killed it. Like fucking killed it, man. Like this dude was like a lot of people are like, oh, a TV guy, you know, TV
Hmm.
matches. That you know, fuck no. He went in there, went toe to toe with Josh Alexander. And another great dude, man. Mike, follow Mike Bennett on social media. This guy wakes up at 3 in the morning to post an inspirational message and then goes and works out for like 2 hours. Like this guy's
Shit.
nuts, man. Every day, every single day, every day. Just a good dude, man. Another good one. I'm so happy where he's in our locker room. But yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. The show that we're looking forward to is Epic AAW. You can follow AAW in all social medias at AAW Pro. Is that correct?
That's correct, man. Everything YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, AAW Pro, and then AWPro.com. Ticket links are all in there. Tickets are available for Epic. Fight TV link is already active. You can pre-order it. So the show's ready to roll, man.
There we go. Make sure you get there for the live, which
Yes.
doors open at 6. A live will start at 6:30. Get
Yep.
to know some newer talent making their way up the ranks.
Get to know
And
them, man.
yeah,
Seriously, it's cool to know these people now because they are going to be the stars. Like it's inevitable. That's what's going to happen. That they go on like they start in dark matches and they work their way up.
there you go. And that's kind of part of the as a fan, that's also part of the journey.
Mhm.
Seeing these guys grow over time and develop and, hopefully,
Yeah.
go to wherever they need to go to and follow their dreams and such. But for us, like we kind of have that library to look back on and again, talking about libraries, referencing the YouTube channel where all that content is 18 years worth.
A lot of stuff, man.
A lot of stuff and you guys keep pumping out content there. So a
Yeah,
lot to see, a lot to enjoy.
newly added for those listening. Newly added is Brody King versus Darby Allen Full Match from 2018. Go take a look. It's a great match. It's Darby's debut, so take a look.
Darby's debut at AAW. That's
Yeah.
why I felt like he had been there before, but I guess not.
No, he was there. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought
Hmm.
he was there in 2017, but I guess not. He was there in 2018,
And
May of 2018.
this in the midst of Brody's big run, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah. This is when it's prior to him winning the title, I believe. So yeah, it's right before he won the title. I want to say.
Okay.
So actually now you got me thinking because I know he wins it that year. So I'm just trying to see Take No Prisoners 2018. And I know we were both at the show. I was working it.
Yeah.
That's the show that's very famous for being the one where Sammy and Brody got into a brawl during the autographs or the meet and greet before the show started. But
Right. Like, you guys were trying to tape an interview. Like, yeah, I think you were talking to fans at that point.
I
Like,
was, yeah,
you know. Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, dude. It was we were talking to a fan and they started brawling in the background. We're like, oh shit. Just camera ran and got it. It was just, if it's on YouTube. Go check it out. Like you can definitely see it happening. It's amazing to watch how it unfolds in the background of a fan interview. It's pretty wild. But the main on that one was Kimberly versus Jessica Havoc. That was the main event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the title. That was a good card too, man. Eddie Kingston versus Fred Yehai, which is awesome. Trey versus DJ Z, Brody Darby, the Rascals around the show, Shane Strickland, Kylie Ray versus Scarlett. I forgot that happened even. Shit.
Oh, wow.
I forgot that happened.
Hmm.
Colt Cabana and Juice Robinson versus the Besties. Lucha Brothers versus AR Fox and Myron Reed, which is a
Oh,
total
that
sleeper
is.
hit.
Is that when Phoenix kind of lost the tooth? I think.
Oh, I don't know. Was that the Tooth one? I don't
You
remember
know,
actually.
it was a match between those two, right? Like those two teams.
I'm trying to think if it was this one or the next one they had. I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
Um, because they had the one match where in Texas where he got knocked out also,
Oh,
where he was
right.
knocked. He
No,
was
Phoenix got knocked out, right?
yeah, that was freaky, man. It was nuts. We were in
Hmm.
Austin and he fucking man, it was wicked, wicked. But he's okay, thankfully. Phoenix though, man, crazy bastard. Like he's guy's always doing some wacky shit, but I love him so much. Every time we post a picture of him or like a history
Hmm.
photo, he's always like, "I miss you guys so much." So I'm like, "Come on
Yeah,
back,
he
man."
sure. I know for a fact he loves AEW. So
Yeah. Tell TK you wanna make a little weekend excursion over to Chicago. Come home.
there you go. Come home. All right, Trent. Well, I want to thank you for your time, for joining us once again, for always being a good friend and a
Thank you,
great
man.
voice to AAW. And always very welcoming to everyone that comes out to the show. So if you see Trent out there,
Yeah.
he'll he'll put his clipboard to the side and give you a big hug.
I will,
So
man. Bro, I was a huge sucker for anybody who went to early Ring of Honor and even early AAW. Ring of Honor, Kerry Silken at the end of the show. You used to
Mhm.
stand by the door and shake everybody's hand on the way out. You used to literally greet, like, thank you for coming. I'm like, oh, it made me feel like $1,000,000. And then Jim would do that.
Mhm.
Jim Lynam would do that at AAW. He used to do the pre-show speech that welcomed you in. I'm like, I'm a sucker for that stuff. I think more people are too. I think people love feeling appreciated for being there.
Yeah,
And
it's a different level of connection to the promotion.
absolutely. And I want to do that more and more. Please stop me. If you see me, stop me at AAW. I will absolutely stop and talk to anybody. We're back to giving handshakes and hugs and bro hugs and stuff. So come on, we can do that if you feel comfortable doing that, do that. But I welcome it, man. I will say this though. I get a lot of random ads on Facebook from people who like know who I am from AAW, and I don't know who they are. So like, just send me a message too. If you're a random ad on like Facebook or Instagram, just let me know who you are first. Send me shoot me a message, and just tell me like, hey, I'm adding you
Slide
because
into his DMs first
please
before.
do. Like, please do. Those are like my private ones, but Twitter's public. But like, at least just slide in the DMs and let me know. Like, hey, I talked to you at the bar. Remember
Mhm.
me, Joe from fucking Marionette Park, whatever. I'm like, just let me know. That's all. Because I'm like, all these random. Like, who the fuck? Like, who is all this? So but I love meeting everybody. I do that seriously. I wish the shows would never end. I wish this was a full time thing that I could go to a different city every night and meet people because I love talking to people and meeting our fans. So please do stop me or anybody, Keith. We're all very welcoming, man. We all appreciate you guys coming out. So it's fun for us.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks, Trent, and I'll kind of give you the floor. plug away AEW, plug your social medias.
Yeah, for sure, man. AAW Pro on all the platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just type it in AAWPro.com, has all the links for that. My personal is Trent at Trent Zuberi on Twitter. It's public, so go ahead and give me a follow. But other than that, man, yeah, please definitely stay in touch. Give us we'll see you, hopefully see as many of you as we can at Epic at Logan Square Auditorium on March 19th. It's
March 19th.
It's
go.
Logan. It's the city. It's Logan. The weather's going to be great next week. No excuses. Let's go. Come on.
All right. Well, see everyone there. And just make sure to hashtag push Paco.
Yeah, keep pushing.
Wherever he is.
Wherever Paco is. I know Paco doesn't.
We might have to change that to find Paco, but
dude, you know what? Change it to find Paco for now. How about that? Where's Paco? We can make it. Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? Where's Paco?
Where's Paco?
We have to find some sort of merch for the guy. He's never wanted to put out merch.
Bro, Paco is the most low key guy. I remember, bro. Can I just say this really quick? We did a little mini documentary called Push Paco, inspired by you guys. The title was inspired by you guys, Two Wheels in a Face, and the title's called Push Paco. And I was interviewing him for it, and I was like, "Who is Paco?" Based on telling, tell me who you are. Like, give me a little synopsis, give me a little summary of who is the guy, who's the man behind the name, right? And he's still chill. He's like, me? I'm Paco. That's it. I was like, no, I mean, what makes you Paco? Who is the man behind it? He was, I'm just Paco, and Paco's me. I'm like, good take, boys, good take. So if you watch the documentary, you can. I think there's a clip of that still. He goes, me? I'm just Paco. I'm like, that's all he gave me. That dude is so chill. He's way too chill for his own good, But it's Paco, man. You love Paco.
I'm Paco, and then the rest of it is just highlights of his stuff.
It. And I love being Paco. I love wrestling. Paco. Fucking Paco, man.
Hey, but he gave us, approximately 15-20 minutes at LaSalle.
He did, yeah.
We were able to. I was able to sit down with him and chat a little bit. But again, at some point in this year, we'll find Paco. Paco might make a comeback. Not sure. In the meantime, in between time, hashtag where is Paco?
Where is Paco?
And we'll, hopefully you find your way to Logan Square at AAW Epic.
Yes, please. And what's my count, Chris? Can you put me versus me? I have a
Principal Steve.
I have a count of appearances going against him, so I got to be winning. This is the number 73, so I got to be up there now.
somewhere in there. Yeah, we'll tally that up. That's Charlie's doing. So
we got to have a super show where it's like neutral ground where it's me and him, man, and it's me and him in a cage match, but it's not fighting. It's just microphones.
Work on the mic
the whole time. But cool, man. Thank you for having me as always. Love you guys.
Thank you, Trent.